Been walking down this long and dusty road, carrying this huge and heavy load. Up ahead I can see my destination. Been dark but now I see illumination.
So I haven't been around for a long time. What has it been? It's been almost a year. Well, close to a year. Because I think the last time that I made a video to put on YouTube was last summer, toward the end of summer. I made a couple of videos after school started to try and, stay in my schedule or whatever, but there was no way, I'm sorry. I don't do well with that much, and it was a bad semester too. And then, so I thought I would have a couple of videos during the break, and then I got sick, and I didn't do it. And then school started again, and I had an even heavier schedule because I had 17 credits this semester. Now we're all on coronavirus lockdown, and I'm still in school. In fact, I noticed that I am in a room, which is weird. I've been in this room, and I have a dorm room. I just got into here. Today is Monday, and I just moved in on Thursday night or Friday. Thursday night, I think. And so this is where I'll be for the rest of the semester, and I'm trying to arrange. I just finished scheduling some summer classes to make sure that I can access Pell, theoretically, and if that happens, then I may be able to stay for the summer here. That would be good, because everything is so crazy, and there's like literally nowhere for me to park. I spent a few weeks parked at my ex-boss's place. She has a new place where she bought a building, and so she owns the parking lot and everything. So I spent a few weeks parked there and working with her, but it didn't give me, because I'm locked out of the studios here, and it didn't give me what I needed as far as studio space. So it wasn't working, so I contacted my advisor for my art program, and she put me on to, a couple different people. We had this big group email, and it was funny because I contacted her on Thursday morning, and by Thursday night I was moving into this dorm room. So, wow, right? And anyway, I don't want to talk about coronavirus with you, and I don't want to talk about my RV right now. I don't want to do any of that. I want to do something that I have been thinking of doing for a long time. As far as my education goes, I don't know if I ever got, I think I did get the chance to tell you this, that I have focused in now on what I'm working on for my senior show. And what I'm doing is, that's backwards, I am illustrating my poetry book, History of My Heart, my journey through domestic violence. And I want to do a hardcover version in full color with my illustrations, and have the paintings of the illustrations, in the show. So I just recently ordered 10 new copies of the book that are available for sale on my website. And I thought, I've been wanting to do this for a long time, where I wanted to just read a poem and discuss that poem for each video. And so that's what I'm going to do. I think it's gonna help me. Oh, this is selfish. I wanted this to help me to focus on the illustrations that I'm working on. So, trying to think. I'll show you one painting that's not finished yet. And it is for the poem called The Vine. I actually have two versions of it that I'm working on. And I'll show it to you. Okay, so this is the first version that I did. And I'll read the poem, The Vine, to you. And this is supposed to have an overlay of poetry and a green vine coming around. I decided to start over on this because I did this on a cheaper canvas, and I'm doing all of my paintings on gallery canvases so that they go together. I want a cohesive look for my show. So I started it over again. And let's see, back up a little so you can see the whole thing. Yeah. So this is the new version. There's things about it that I like better, and there's things about it that I don't like better. I don't like this chair. I thought I didn't like that chair and the other one. And I wanted the chair to look more like a real chair, and then I worked really hard on this chair, and then I thought, you know what? This painting's not about a chair. I don't like it. So, yeah, it needs more work. I'm not sure yet how I want to go about putting on the vine. I may have to start this over. I don't know. I may just white out the chair and do the chair over. I'm not sure yet. But anyway, I will go ahead and read you the poem called The Vine. You notice the cover, I have The Vine on here. And I don't know, maybe I'll never put The Vine on there. Maybe I'll just call that The Poet. I don't know. But, yeah, so I'm going to read The Vine to you. I wrote the poem The Vine because at the time I was writing these poetry, and every time I would write a poem or two, I would go to Wednesday night poetry, or I was in a poetry class at the time, and it bothered me that there's a reason it's called My Journey Through Domestic Violence, so there's a reason that all of my poetry is very, dark, obviously, and I have never noticed anyone roll their eyes or be like, oh, here she comes. I haven't noticed any of that from anyone, but I feel like that whenever I perform my poetry, or especially when, maybe it's because I've been working on these same poems for so long, but especially when I am booked to do, a whole set of my poetry where like I'm the feature and I'm going to read a lot of the poems. This is just my personal, I feel like, okay, here's the lady that's going to come bring everybody down. I was booked at a variety show, for instance, and everyone that was in this show was doing, they were dancing to beautiful music, or they were singing happy songs, playing, instruments, and I think there was even a comedian. And then I come out with this. And by the time I get finished with my set, there's not a dry eye in the place. And, you know, half the people have their mouth hanging open in shock. And it's a very personal thing to tell your story. It's a very personal thing to stand in front of a live audience and say these words. And I've gotten so that I don't cry, sometimes a little bit, when I do it, because I've done it so many times, but I still feel very uncomfortable that I'm ruining your day. So it bugged me. So I was thinking about, what was the end result? What's the end result of all of this? And that's obviously, it's healing, not just for me, but for other people. There's a reason I put it together, is because people don't talk about domestic violence the way that they should. And they hide it. Victims hide it. And people that are not victims, that meet victims, they don't want to hear about it. It ruins their day. And but it shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't be that the victim ruins your day. It should be that the perpetrator ruins your day, and you want to stop that. That's what it should be. So anyway, I wrote the vine in response to those feelings. I want to write about beautiful things, like flowers, growing things. Let me put my pencil to paper and write a vine that grows right out of the tip. I want to watch that vine turn green and flow into heart-shaped leaves. I want to watch that vine flowing freely across my paper until a tendril reaches the edge. I want to watch that tendril break free of my page and reach out into the real world. I want to watch that vine spread from my page out onto my skin and grow and multiply and cover my body up and down with tendrils and leaves and flowers like tattoos. But no, don't stop there. I want to watch those vines and flowers spread and cover the chair in which I sit down onto the floor. I can imagine how the lines will swirl and curl and form the shapes before my eyes until the floor is like the forest floor. And then the vine will spread up the walls of my room and cover the ceiling and become sturdier and more real and full until they burst right out the window and into the air. I want to watch that beautiful vine full of purple and pink and yellow flowers and lush green leaves take over my neighborhood and fill the streets and cover the houses and the parked cars with love and joy and acceptance. I want to watch that vine turn into a forest and fill the world until there is no more ugliness, but only colorful spring flowers and fresh green leaves. And then maybe, just maybe, my vine will touch you and cover over your pain and color your heart with my love. So thank you for listening. I'm Victoria on the road. I'm not on the road today. I will be soon, I'm sure. I still have my RV. It's a new one. I have a different RV, but I'll talk about that in another video. But I did want to say, if you haven't subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. Share this with anyone that you think it might be helpful for, or that you just want to share it with. And as always, peace. I'm Victoria.
It breaks down my fight. Up ahead I can see my destination. Been dark but now I see illumination. I get there, gonna put my problems down. Carry them so long, not sure that I know how. When I get there, gonna put my problems down. It will be a new day. Gonna put them down this time. Tried before. Gonna put them down this time. Not like before. Gonna put them down this time. Tried before.